Hello, welcome to another video, and this one's gonna be about how I drive all-wheel drive cars. So, all-wheel drive, right? So it's basically the pinnacle of all rally cars these days, since the 1980s, because it's pretty much the fastest drivetrain of all of them. You got all four wheels being driven, more traction, right? More traction, but the way it's driven, it requires a very different discipline, and I think, in my opinion, these cars are relatively the most easiest one to learn. But when you start pushing the limits, because these cars require the driving, because since it's relatively easier, you really need to push very hard, and that can lead to more crashes than you can possibly imagine. More cars wrapped in trees. So I can try to pick out a few factors you need to work on, or I work on anyway. First of all is managing weight. So when you're managing weight, you're managing the momentum of the car. See that? The weight is shifting from left to right, and the rear steps out. In this case, in like rear-wheel drive car, you'd want the rear to step out, because when you mash the throttle when hovering on the corner with no steering lock, when you mash the throttle, the radius of the corner begins to widen a lot, leading you to go through a straight line anyway. So we'll need to counteract that with some steering, some throttle, and some brake. The brake helps a lot. You really need to be good at the brakes, because when you're good at the brakes, you can really help gain more time, and of course stopping through corners. And threshold braking and trail braking is what really matters. So threshold braking is the maximum amount of brake input you can get without locking the brakes at all. This works in all surfaces, loose or tarmac. So, and trail braking is pretty much braking while turning to help pitch the nose in. So when you're braking, the weight of the car shifts forward. So when the weight of the car shifts forward, you have more bite on the front wheels. But this comes in an extent. Well, when you brake, when you put too much weight at the front, it begins to understeer, right? There becomes too much weight at the front that you can't turn. So I'll try to explain it here. Oops. Well, I'll try to mash the brakes full. See, that's understeer. So what is understeer and what is oversteer? So understeer is when you turn, it doesn't turn to where you want it to. It just goes straight on, basically. I'll try to explain here. Like, no, not that one. Understeer is this. That's understeer. And what is oversteer? This. Pretty much the main maneuver of all-wheel drive cars in every corner. See that is oversteer. This is oversteer, and this is oversteer. So it's basically drifting. So yeah, I don't know how else I can explain this. Maybe I can explain different techniques in another video, hopefully. But yeah, and one other thing, when you potentially cause unintentional understeer, the best way to undo it is use the handbrake, because the handbrake locks the rear wheels, so the rear car will slide round, and you need to turn the car to where you want it to, so it will really slide it to where you want it to. This will be useful, especially around hairpins. So that's basically it. I don't know how else I can explain this. There's lots of techniques to driving all-wheel drive cars. And all of it is being mashed into one. You got the Scandinavian flick, or pendulum turn, as other people call it. You got, what else? Just throttle management, just managing the throttle in general. So I'm gonna try to explain what the Scandinavian flick looks like. So we're going in a fast corner, right? And there's a slow 90 right at the end. 90 left, sorry. There you go, that was the Scandinavian flick. Basically entering the car, entering through the corner sideways, so that you have the momentum to not understeer through slow corners. It's just to prevent understeer, basically, and overall keeping momentum. So yeah, try this. Just practice at this close circuit in Dirtfish. See what you think. Try it out. Just remember, when you also remember when you press the throttle, the weight shifts backward. All the weight shifts at the back. That means when you turn, there's less weight at the front. That means you have less turn-in. But when you lift off, all the weight shifts forward because you're slowing down. But when you brake, that effect increases massively and you have much more turn-in. Alright? So that's it. Don't crash, brake before you turn, and you'll do just fine in this car. So that's it. And yeah, hopefully more videos to come. See ya.